Why do bad things happen?
Why do we suffer?
Why are there disasters?
We all suffer, that's first of all.
You know, why do people hurt?
If you have such a loving God, why does he allow earthquakes to happen in Japan or New Zealand or other places around the world?
I think that man has caused more harm to man than what natural disasters have happened.
No one's exempt, you know, even the people we look up to and think, oh, they've got it all together, they suffer.
Oftentimes suffering is self-inflicted.
We all cause suffering, absolutely. I'm as guilty as anybody else.
I believe we suffer because we live in a fallen world.
We're the problem, we're the issue, we're the ones that, you know, have really stuffed up.
It was the actions that I took when I ultimately look back that damaged me and other people.
I think it comes down to our sin.
We have this leaning towards hurting each other, hurting ourselves even, and making the world in which we live a pretty miserable place.
God designed this world to be a perfect place for us to enjoy.
If we were still walking one-on-one with God, I don't think we would suffer. Our choices wouldn't have taken us down a wrong path where suffering is inevitable.
But the decisions that we have made along the way, mankind as a whole, have caused it to be less than perfect.
And we take God out of everything, but all of a sudden it's God's fault when something goes wrong.
But if he was going to alleviate the suffering, he would have to do something about us.
You can look at the bad side of suffering, but I think suffering could also be a good thing.
Good suffering often brings us to a point of recognising that we're sick.
Essentially, we're corrupted. There's something in us that is wrong, that needs to be made right.
We know that if we hurt a body part, then we need to be able to know that there's pain there so that we can do something about it. You know, that's a symptom and then you get treated for it.
I believe it's not God making us suffer, it's him kind of allowing things to unfold.
And just like when you are sick and you need to have a doctor to look after you, the same is spiritually.
So that mankind gets to the point where we can't help but recognise our need of God.
I've got to come to a conclusion in my own mind and in my own heart that at the very core, something is wrong with me.
It's when you realise that you have a sense of remorse and sadness that you can actually do something about it. If you don't realise it, then you just keep walking over people.
I know some of the greatest lessons that I've learnt in life has been through suffering and through those tough times. They make us who we are. So if you can overcome those sufferings, you grow from that and you develop, you know, your character.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it requires something happening inside of all of us.
Suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope.
And I think that begins the search for most people, how they can fix themselves.
All I've learned is you can't cure yourself. There are certain things that you just cannot fix. So you need to find someone to fix it. And Jesus is a spiritual doctor.
And Jesus just simply says, follow.